This is the webinar on setting up users and setting up roles. If you're setting up roles, you would be at the top level organization at the top right hand corner. And you're going to click on Setup, Users, and Manage Roles. This will bring you into the Manage Roles screens. To look up the existing roles that are already created, you can just use the View Lookup tool to look those up and just click on the Lookup button. And that'll give you all the roles that are created in the system. In most cases, you're going to have an admin role that can do absolutely anything in the system, and you're going to have a sales role. That role can specifically ring up sales only. We also have people that set up additional roles, such as a receiving role. Maybe you have someone that you only want to get into receiving and printing labels. Or maybe you have a buying role, where you only want them to get into purchase orders and some reporting. You can be specific with these roles. That way that specific person will only be able to get in certain parts of Rick's Enterprise. For example, if I click on the sales role, it's going to list the permissions down below. So as you can see, the items that are not checked, this person will not be able to get into those areas in the system. The items that are checked are the areas that they will be able to get into the system. And since this is a sales role, it would be items such as, ringing up sales, which would be in the POS section. So under the POS section, you can uncheck the items that you don't want this sales role to have, such as manager actions, etc. Once you're done with selecting those items that you want them to have permission for, you can click on the Save button down at the bottom. Now that you've created the roles that you want to create, we want to attach those roles to the specific users. So to create users, you can go to Setup, Users, and Manage Users. To look up existing users that are already created, you can use the Quick Lookup. This will give you a list of all of the users. If you find the user that you want to select, you can go ahead and select that user. And now you'll be able to see what roles this user can do. In this situation, this user is an admin, where he can do anything in the system, and also sales, where he can ring up sales. If I wanted to create a brand new user, I could just go to the login, type in my user ID that I want to type, and then create the password. There are special requirements for the password since this is an internet-based system. We must be very secure. So the rules are that in the password has to be between 8 and 12 characters long. And within those 8 and 12 characters, you must have at least one numeric character, one lowercase character, one uppercase character, and it must contain at least one special character, like a question mark or a $sign. Cannot contain your login, and you cannot repeat any portion of the previous password if you change your password. And as you can see, anything with a blue line are the required fields where you have to type in some information. So you have the login ID, you have the password, you have to confirm and type the password in again, and then you can put the last name and the first name. And then the other optional items would be the middle name, phone, and email. Then I can assign a role to this ID. So if this person was an admin, where they could do everything, I would just click on Admin. The admin can also ring up sales, so it's not necessary to also click on sales. Because as you can see, when I click on Admin, it's asking me to do a cashier code. So I click on Get Next Code, and that'll assign this user a cashier code. I could also do commission % as well. And once I'm done, I just click on the Save button down at the bottom. If you're creating users that will be using this back-end Rick's Enterprise on the internet, you need to do it at this top level. If you're creating users that you only want to be able to go into specific stores, then you can change the organization level to that store number, and then you can create those users at that store level. So when they go to log in, they cannot change the organization to any other store number. This is what a lot of people will go to when they're creating just the people that will be ringing up sales on the POS. They'll go directly to that store number and create the IDs there. And there you just follow the same procedure and create the login, the password, the last name and the first name. If for some reason you don't want the last name to show up on the receipt, that's where you do not want to type in their last name in the last name field. Since you have to have something in that field, I would just probably put the first letter of their last name in that field. And then you could put their full last name under middle name because that does not come up on the receipt. And you'll also be able to set up roles at this store level as well. So as you notice, there are different roles at store 1 than there was at the top level. In most cases, all of the roles are set up at the very top level organization, which in this example would be 1000. So hopefully this will guide you when you need to create anything under Manage Roles or Manage Users. You can also go to the Help file by clicking on the blue question mark or F1 on your keyboard, and that'll also give you step-by-step instructions when you're needing to create roles or users.